had a great week. I know some people are on vacation. They're basically their Christmas vacation is going to end. Um, I myself am sitting here waiting for to start a new job, but I will try to give updates on what is going on regarding the political scene. Here is a big major thing going on. U.S. Speaker of the House vote took place earlier today, and this was first posted on Conduit News, so thank them for first posting this. Speaker Johnson fell short of the votes needed. He'll probably get the votes. I do notice that they made Steve Womack, our guy from Arkansas, as pro tem. Now, if Arkansas had a fair primary system, if it abide by the rules passed in our state convention, and we had closed primaries where only Republicans would vote, we probably could primary and remove this guy and make a difference in who becomes Speaker of the House, among other things. But right now, as it stands, the Republican Party of Arkansas is not adhering to the rules of the state convention. They are allowed to just break whatever rules they want. And so that was an update on Conduit. Here is a live of the House proceedings from U.S. House Clerk. You don't have to go to C-SPAN in order to see what's going on. Right now they're convening, and there's probably all kinds of deal-making going on, chit-chat. But if you want to watch the Speaker of the House and the drama that involved in that, you can go to U.S. House Clerk instead of having to go to C-SPAN. You could, the United States House of Representatives website is supposed to have a live stream, but it's down. Don't ask me why. But before you make fun of the federal government and its many failures, which of course you can, we have problems here in our local government. So I'm going to show this story. This was posted, well, it was yesterday, but it was late evening. The Pulaski County Special School District, which is basically the schools within Pulaski County that are not in the Little Rock School District, Superintendent Charles McNulty and the school board into agreement that calls for McNulty to resign in light of his plans to retire from public education by June 30th. This guy does not look like a retiree. So here's a problem right off the bat. We're paying these superintendents way too much money. And I have some other, I'll talk a little bit about that in some other, a little bit. An earlier 6-1 vote with no public discussion. So they didn't even have public discussion. They just went ahead and did that. Just up on their own decided to block any discussion. So we don't really know what happened or why. An 11-page separation agreement between McNulty and the board during the special holiday week meeting. Board member Tina Ward voted against the motion. Board member Heather Smith made the motion to approve the separation member agreement, and board member Karen Maynard seconded. Now, Karen Maynard is someone who has been involved in the fight in the Pulaski County Republican Committee. She has been a strong conservative for years on this school board, and this is one of these really important decisions, places that the Republican Party should fight for on a hard level, but doesn't. But here's the other thing, and I don't know why this is being done. The board then voted to hire a guy named Jerry Guess, a former superintendent in a district, to be the interim leader until a search for a permanent chief executive can be completed by July 1st. It tells a little bit about the history about Guess. He was appointed in 2011, back by the Arkansas Education Commissioner Tom Kimbrell, when the district was in what's known as state control because they were so corrupt that they had to be taken over. They were in fiscal distress. He served until 2017 when he was terminated by a school board that was elected in 2016. And he managed the detachment of the Jacksonville area from the Pulaski Special District. And this guy has bounced around to other school districts where he's been fired or let go. Look at this guy. Annual salary of $245,000, which means he'll be paid a $122,000 for the remaining 6 months. So even though he's gone, he's still getting paid. And that doesn't include benefits. I don't know if we're paying his gas, his travel, any of that stuff. You add that, it could probably be closer to it could easily be $250,000 or more. By the way, most teachers up until recently didn't make near this much. And this is part of the problem. This is just him. That doesn't include any of his assistants, his cousin, sister's brother, who got some useless position. If you know anything about the school districts, oftentimes the administration has a lot of people that they don't need. So this goes into some of the details about Nick Gulte's separation. So again, this guy replaced Guess, who was fired, and now they're putting Guess back on. Why are they picking a guy that they fired? You can even go here. Here's the other article about Jerry Guess. And they had some lady named Janice Warren, who's now the interim leader. Here he is at $215,000. And this was a long legal fight regarding this. Now, it looks like the U.S. House may come back to order. And they may start coming back to deliberate on Speaker of the House.
House will be in order.
Mr. Norman Johnson. Mr. Reynolds.
Oh, it looks like
Mr. Self Johnson.
I don't know if he just got the votes or not. Again, in the big scheme of things, even if somehow we were to block Mike Johnson, probably has somebody else that we didn't care for. Excuse me. Okay, I don't know if that was just a one person that switched their vote or what the deal was with that. And the the United States House of Representatives website is apparently down because it just stops at 12:51, doesn't do anything. We're experiencing service issues, so you have to go here to YouTube. I'm going to pause that for just a little bit because there's something else I want to talk about. This again, what can you do regarding the Speaker of the House? Not much. I mean, you can voice your opinion, but the time to fight regarding that is in primaries. But this is the guy that's going to be taking over the Pulaski County Special Schools District yet again. And this is kind of one example of this is from one of my other YouTube channels, Superintendent Jerry Gass, and how he trashed the Jacksonville School District at this little town hall that they had regarding the millage tax increase scheduled for May 12th that I think I managed to help defeat.
Jacksonville, what it is right now. Jacksonville with 4,000 kids and 100 square miles and 10 old buildings will struggle to. They will not be able to pay as much salary to teachers as PC's paying on 40.7 mills. They already know that. They're not going to be able to pay as much salary, and they're not going to be able to provide the fringe benefits that Pulaski County does. Therefore, they're going to struggle to get teachers in the market where they have Cabot on one side, Pulaski County and North Little Rock on the other. They're going to struggle. So it's a very complex proposition to talk about the division of assets and the assumption of responsibility and the amount of millage necessary to pay. But that's Mr. Lewis has another opinion. I respect that, but I think there's nothing that a millage increase would present to voters, to people here, that wouldn't be a benefit if you detach.
You really want to clear that. So if you want to find out a few more videos about Jerry Guest, you can go to Arkansas Tea Party. This is an older website that I maintain. Type in Jerry Guest. You can type in a few videos. Here's another one. I'll go ahead and play this.
Is the millage increase permanent?
It's like your home. You can decide how long you want to finance it. Usually it's 30 years. That's what this would be. It would be a 30-year commitment, 5.6 mills, which would still be the lowest millage in the county.
And, you know, we were talking earlier.
They always try to find some way to make it lower than something else. Either it's lower in the county, or it's lower compared to other cities, or it's lower compared to the state to justify raising your taxes. They don't bother to talk about the other taxes. Arkansas, by the way, at one time was one of either the second or third highest tax state in the nation. When you added up all because we have an income tax, we have a state sales tax, and then when you added those city and county local taxes like this one, it bumps it up to even more.
Earlier that the last millage was 1992. Prior to that, I asked Mr. Lester, you know, I went to school in Pulaski County Schools. My dad taught in the district, and so I knew Mr. Lester had been around a while. I said, hey, what was the last one? He said, Derek,
I will.
He said, it was 20 years
prior
to that.
I haven't
logged
in
somewhere in the early 70s. He said, I can't tell you the exact date. So we're talking over 40 years, one millage, you know, increase.
Right. And that last increase was for operation. It didn't go to facilities. It was at the time Little Rock, that buildings were detached from PC to go to Little Rock, and it was an increase in a set in millage to be able to operate the district without those properties.
And since the last millage increase, that what didn't go to facilities, the district built, and obviously I wasn't here, I was in the Air Force, but the district built Crystal Hill, they built Clinton, they built Daisy Bates, and the two of those look just like this school. They built Chenal Elementary, they built Maumelle Middle School, Maumelle High School, added on to Pine Forest, and built Sylvan Hills Middle School, all out of Hyde. So there was something going on right there.
I have grandchildren that go to school here,
Yes, ma'am.
but I actually live in North Little Rock. I know a lot of kids in North Little Rock.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, just from my experience, our last millage increase for our construction was pretty comparable to what y'all are asking for.
Yes, ma'am.
And it's not really noticeable. It's a small increase, and to watch your schools go up.
Y'all don't mind if I hug a neck every now and then, do you? I'm not gonna hug her neck.
But to watch your schools go up and be improved, and the neighborhoods are all so excited, and they have more activities at school.
The people out at
If you want to donate more of your money, then do so on your own. the I don't know if we've defeated this or not. I'm trying to look and see where. Because I know I campaigned against this. But this is what this Jerry Guest guy, that's all he's capable of doing. Just like Frank Scott Jr., the supposed mayor of North Little Rock. They all they know how to do is scheme some special tax increase. Let things fall apart and then do it all over again. I think we defeated this one. It was $360 million over 30 years. But again, you can go there and search for Arkansas Jerry Guest, and you can find out more about him. But yeah, this guy's a loser. He doesn't need to be running any school districts. He should have been. He's bounced around from several of them. And we really need a better way of focusing on how school districts are run. Because obviously it's been an absolute abysmal failure. By the way, Alex Jones is having somebody talk about, he's a lot more popular than I am, but let me see what he's up to.
This is the revolution. And yeah, you're looking at my poster screen right now. Now we can see the other opposition part. For example, the initial sponsor for the chancellor candidacy, that is Felix Meyer from the CDU. CDU is like the main establishment party, that is the Angela Merkel party. And he's not very terrified. You can see that Alice Weidel from the AfD has actually become the most popular chancellor candidate. Unfortunately, that does not mean that she's going to be the chancellor of Germany, because we do not live in a direct democracy. However, if people could directly vote for their chancellor, the most likely is to be Alice Weidel. I seriously believe it. Like, the polls are showing exactly that. Then why is AfD not winning all across the board? This is what I need to explain to you. And I think that is something that a lot of Americans are still saying. We are playing for the long game. Because we have a multi-party system, obviously, in Germany, meaning that the AfD has to battle not just one big party like in American Republicans and the Democrats. She just doesn't have one competitor. She has all these different parties.
So again, the fight for freedom is happening around the world. I think that lady's in Germany. I'm over here in Arkansas, and we're having a fight and kick globalists out of power wherever they're at. I don't know if Speaker Johnson officially got the votes or not. Let me do an update here.
The state of New York has received 215.
That's Jeffrey.
And the Honorable Tom Emmer of the state of Minnesota has received 1. Therefore, the Honorable Mike Johnson of the state of Louisiana, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 119th Congress.
Okay, folks, there you have it. Speaker Johnson has been elected. We needed 218 votes, and we got it.
The clerk appoints the following committee to escort the Speaker-elect to the chair. The gentleman from Louisiana, Mr. Scalise. The gentleman from New York, Mr. Jeffries. The gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Emmer. The gentlewoman from Massachusetts, Ms. Clark. The gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. McLean. The gentleman from California, Mr. Aguilar. The gentleman from North Carolina, Mr. Hudson. The gentleman from California, Mr. Liu. The gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. Hearn. The gentleman from Colorado, Mr. Neguse. The gentleman from Utah, Mr. Moore. The gentlewoman from Washington, Ms. Del Bene. The gentlewoman from Indiana, Mrs. Houchin. the gentleman from New York, Mr. Morelli, the gentleman from Pennsylvania, Mr. Reschenthaler, the gentlewoman from Michigan, Mrs. Dingle, and the members
we
of the
really need to see
Louisiana
what's gonna
delegation,
happen
Mr.
because of this.
Higgins, Ms. Letlow, Mr. Carter, and Mr. Fields. The committee will retire from the chamber to escort the speaker-elect to the chair.
So here, this is from Cat Turd on his Twitter page. Representative Keith South, Thomas Massey, and Ralph Norman voted against Mike Johnson the first round. Most likely all of our Arkansas U.S. representatives voted for him. In the big scheme of things, he's going to do whatever the globalists tell him to. But see, this is the thing that's going on. Honduras warns of shutting down the U.S. military base on their territory if Trump deports its citizens. Thoughts? Yeah, shut down all the aid to Honduras. So we didn't have like having rape gangs like they have in Europe, which we already have some here. We've had some deaths from illegal immigration here. Let's see what's going on there. So they had their vote. You're going to escort him out. He's going to give a big speech. I don't know if I want to watch the speech or not. I suppose if anybody wants to. Mike Johnson is from Louisiana. Overall, has been a pretty red state. And over in the past, the U.S. House of Representatives hasn't been completely cooperative in terms of helping a lot of Trump's agenda and then more importantly, agenda of conservatives. Notice now, one of the things that we've done that I'm really proud of is the fact that conservatives are now focused on these things. Years ago, even a few years ago, you would never heard of who was Speaker of the House. It never mattered. Conservative bills would just kind of die and nobody would bother to look why. Now we know who's doing things. We know who some of those consultants. We know we're putting pressure on people to get things done in a conservative way. So I'll get rid of the House of Representatives website since it doesn't seem to work. I don't know why it's taken so long for him to come down here and give his I-1 speech. Basically, all he's got to say, oh, we're going to work together and blah, blah, blah. And God bless and all that. But folks, I think I think they're pretty much done for the day. But I want to talk about those two things. Breaking news: Mike Johnson's been elected Speaker of the House, and the Pulaski County Special School District is rehiring a guy that they fired a few years ago, who's bounced around from several school districts. That's pretty much the news. Hope y'all have a great day. Find a way to get involved. And get others involved. Find out who's who in who's the globalists and who are the patriots in your neck of the woods. And find out who to help and who to fight against. I still leave with this Bible verse. Never forget it. When the wicked rule, the people groan. Merry Christmas to those I hadn't wished it before, and a Happy New Year. Let's make 2025 a year for real reform.